Now at 10, off to Topeka. Area lawmakers are set to begin their legislative session, but before they left, they shared their goals with constituents. Plus, Miami, Oklahoma authorities investigate the discovery of a body in a burned house. And the biggest tech event of the year has come to an end. We'll look at some of the coolest gadgets unveiled at this year's slimmed down CES.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Southeast Kansas lawmakers share their goals for this legislative session before heading off for Topeka. This is KOAM News at 10. At a gathering in Pittsburgh today, one of the topics discussed was redistricting. Every 10 years with the census, congressional districts are assessed and redrawn as needed to accommodate population change. Representative Richard Prayel says accurate redistricting is essential this year as the state saw some big population moves in both rural and urban areas.
We look at urban and rural areas, and our urban areas are growing and our rural areas are shrinking. So our districts out here in the rural areas will get larger as far as area-wise.
Prayel says it's going to be key to work with the urban legislators on redistricting to ensure population counts are evenly distributed across the state. The Bourbon County Jail and its inmates are fighting the cold without a working HVAC. The jail's HVAC unit is blowing cold air instead of hot air. The sheriff says it's been a problem for months. When we spoke to him, his office was 59 degrees. The jail has had to get creative to keep inmates warm and safe until a permanent fix can be found. The Bourbon County Commission is investigating the issue. People in Webb City have a new option for free and easy COVID-19 testing. Ivy Medical opened a new testing site at 115 North Madison Street. The site is open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday. It offers free rapid antigen and PCR testing. No appointment or health insurance is required. Officials say the site will stay as long as demand requires it. A new Kansas Supreme Court ruling means people can still sue Kansas counties over mask mandates and other COVID-19 restrictions and obtain a quick trial court decision. The court declined to consider whether it's constitutional for a state law to require trial court judges to rule on such lawsuits within 10 days. It concluded that a Johnson County judge had no business striking down the law in a case that dealt with another legal question. Checking in with Nick Kelly now for a first look at the weather.
Well, our Friday performed as advertised, Dow. Certainly a bit warmer compared to the upper teens and lower 20s we had to deal with yesterday afternoon. After a cold start at 11, at least we got back above freezing with today's high of 36 degrees. We had nothing to track so far on the radar network throughout our Friday as this weekend got underway. But after we had our fair share of cloud cover come and go throughout the course of the day, look at the thickening lower level cloud cover building in from the south. That is approaching ahead of our next upper level wave coming out of Colorado. That is what's coming into play as we go into the overnight and certainly for our Saturday. In the short term, though, we have some mid-20s in our northern counties, everybody else in the upper 20s to lower 30s. But with this wave coming in, it's going to crank that south wind into gear, so we'll go from early midnight lows around 27 to 34 by 6 a.m. This incoming wave will bring in some drizzle, maybe freezing drizzle for a couple of spots, but everyone's back above freezing for the rest of the day. Down meaning rain chances, certainly with highs near 48. We'll break down the rest of the forecast here in a bit.
Authorities are investigating the discovery of a body following a house fire in Miami, Oklahoma. That fire was at a home on G Street Southwest last night. Police say the person found dead in a bedroom was a male, but they are not releasing the identity. They say there is no sign of foul play. Investigators say there was no power to the home and it appeared to be heated with a portable gas heater. Jasper County authorities are investigating a man following death and apparent shooting in Joplin. They're questioning the man. Deputies responded to a report of an altercation on South Malang Road around noon today. They found a 50-year-old man dead in the yard with an apparent gunshot wound. They detained a 75-year-old man for questioning, but they say they're not looking for anyone else and that the public is not in danger. Still ahead, we've heard plenty about a nationwide trucker shortage creating problems in the U.S. supply chain, but is a lack of drivers really the problem? And we're going to look back at some of the coolest gadgets unveiled at this year's Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. We're hearing a lot about a shortage of semi-truck drivers as one of the reasons behind the supply chain problem. But a national trucking organization based in the Kansas City area is refuting that belief. Joe Hickman explains why.
According to the American Trucking Associations based in Arlington, Virginia, there's a shortage of 80,000 truck drivers right now, an all-time high that could grow to 160,000 by 2030. It's being blamed as part of the reason for our problems getting goods and services these days. But another national trucking organization based in Grain Valley, Missouri, just outside Kansas City, says there are plenty of truck drivers out there. But
the problem is they're going out the back door as fast as they're coming in the front door. This industry has a terrible turnover rate. I spent 20 plus years in the industry.
Louis Pugh is the executive vice president for the Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association, which represents 150,000 people who have their own trucks or small fleets. And that group contends that when it comes to commercial driver's license operators,
there's 400,000 plus new CDLs issued every year. There's no shortage. We just need to keep them. The same people that say they need 80,000 drivers also report they have a 94% turnover rate in their industry. They're turning over 94% of their people year round.
The American Truckers Association, who never got back to us with our interview request, did send us a long list of factors in the driver shortage, ranging from high numbers of retirees and low numbers of women to long hours and frustrations with the job. And Pugh agrees with the frustration part.
There's just so many ways out there that you get taken advantage of, mainly your time. You get paid by the mile. So if you're sitting at a dock for 8 hours, it doesn't cost to carry anything really at all.
Pugh says that the ability to retain truck drivers comes when
they pay the people, they train the people, and they take care of the people. When you don't do those things, people leave.
So if a driver shortage is not the problem, what is?
The supply chain in trucking is used so inefficiently that 40% of the trucks aren't even loaded to capacity every day. They're sitting around at shippers and receivers for hours and hours and hours waiting to be loaded or unloaded. And by the time they are, the driver's out of time to drive, so he's another day behind.
And the solution?
We got to make things in America. If you put more truck drivers in the system, the only thing you're going to see at the Port of Los Angeles is longer lines. But the amount of trucks out there, the capacity's there. They're just not being used efficiently.
Again, that was Joe Hickman reporting. New data shows unemployment fell in December, but job growth did not reach economists' forecasts. According to the Labor Department, unemployment dropped to 3.9%, a new pandemic-era low. But the economy added only 199,000 jobs. That's half of what economists predicted and the fewest jobs added in any month of 2021. Still, 2021 as a whole had record-breaking growth. In total, America added 6.4 million jobs last year. That's the most since 1939. CES 2022 returned to the Las Vegas Strip this week as a slimmed-down hybrid version of the giant tech showcase. Still, the show generated big buzz around new gadgets, new cars, and wellness in the pandemic era. Karen Kafa has a recap.
The number of in-person exhibitors expected at CES 2022 was half the 2020 show. But after an all-virtual 2021, the Consumer Technology Association, which produces CES, was happy to be back in Las Vegas at all.
Technology industry is ready to get back to business.
Samsung was among the big names with floor presence, with two small gadgets generating buzz. The Freestyle projector, just under 2 pounds, but able to project up to a 100-inch screen. And the latest addition to its S21 smartphone family, the more affordable FE 5G. Tech columnist Jennifer Jolly describes the updated phone as part of a comfort tech trend in the screen-heavy pandemic era.
It's like comfort food, except gadgets. You know, it's the gadgets that we know, we love, we feel the most comfortable with, but just tweak that little bit to make us feel even better about spending more time with them.
Automakers on the move. General Motors unveiled Chevrolet's new battery electric Silverado pickup truck in an online presentation. It's set to go into production in spring 2023 with a range of up to 400 miles on fully charged batteries. BMW displayed the iX Flow with e-ink technology, which changes the vehicle's color at the touch of a button.
You choose the clothes you wear in the morning, you choose your social media status, and you choose the color of your car.
And Sony showing off the latest electric vehicle prototype in its Vision S line and SUV. French startup Maca presented its Carcopter concept, a hybrid race car and helicopter that runs on hydrogen-based fuel cells, topping out at 155 miles per hour. At slower speeds, John Deere unveiling its first self-driving tractor.
It's real, it's ready, and it's helping farmers today.
Speaking of a slower pace and rest and relaxation, Kohler's Perfect Fill bathtub technology soaked up CES attention, able to draw a bath on command through your smartphone.
The minute you step in your front door, that bath is ready to go at your perfect temperature. Or if you have kids, it can keep the water lower for them, the temperature lower for them.
A pandemic-era focus on home and wellness tech not limited to humans. Persong showing off an activity tracker for your cat, part of a suite of digital products for the well-connected pet. I'm Karen Kefa reporting.
Just what your cat needs, an activity tracker. GameStop shares jumped as much as 20% this morning. Comes after the Wall Street Journal reported the company is creating a non-fungible token marketplace. The company reportedly plans to allow people to buy, sell, and trade NFTs for virtual video game goods. Think avatar outfits and weapons on the marketplace. Although GameStop hasn't confirmed the news, a new page on its website invites interested persons to fill out a form to request becoming a creator. NFTs are a rapidly growing space. The largest and most well-known marketplace, OpenSea, is valued at more than $13 billion. A new study examining how different forms of media can affect mental health found consuming traditional media did not have much of an impact on short-term well-being. Researchers in the UK observed those who read books, magazines, or audiobooks were just as happy or anxious as those who did not, while those who engaged with music, television, films, and video games tended to have a lower happiness and higher anxiety levels than those who did not. Later, it's semifinal night at the Kaminsky Classic. The hometown Eagles take on Howell, and we'll have the highlights in sports.
But first, I got the forecast involving warmer temperatures, thankfully, but rain chances too, kicking off tomorrow. Forecast next. Well, our Friday has performed as advertised. We kept things quiet throughout the day, and thankfully, even though it was still cold, temperatures were on a bit of a warming trend once again. The live shot from Indigo Sky, though, still looks okay for the time being. That's despite our next storm system ready to roll on in as we go through the course of the overnight. But again, as far as temperatures go, any improvement compared to the upper teens and lower 20s we saw yesterday afternoon, we'll take it. We just had to get past another cold start this morning with lower to middle teens across the area, but then we saw the numbers bounce back into the mid, even upper 30s for some of you before we hit sunset earlier this evening. Still looking quiet around downtown Joplin as well, 29 at the airport with a southeast breeze at 8. That wind is going to help us out overnight. For the time being, though, it does make it feel like 21 degrees. So a bit of a bite to the air, not just in downtown Joplin, but all around the rest of the metro with 29 in Webb City, 30 in Galena, 32 in Seneca, and over back toward Commerce and Miami as well. Outside of the metro, we have some mid-20s already. For areas along the north of US 54, everybody else in the upper 20s to lower 30s. You add in that breeze, it feels like the teens and 20s, no matter where you are. But the breeze, this is one key factor as to why we're going to do so much better with temperatures tomorrow and even during the overnight for that matter. We've had the breeze sustained between 5 and 15 miles per hour, but it's starting to pick back up as we go deeper into the night. That is in response to our next storm system on the way in. We just had passing cloud cover once again throughout the course of the day, but there's the building moisture and more cloud cover ready to roll in from the south as we go through the overnight. Not only is that in response to a warm front that'll come by our way from the west, but also a couple upper level waves. One coming out of Colorado, western Kansas, the other one coming out of California and Nevada. All of those systems coming into play as we go through the rest of our weekend. You can see how we're staying quiet right now, but here's 3 a.m. That band of cloud cover building just to the south, that comes streaming in during the overnight. And by the time we get closer to sunrise, if not maybe after 3 or 4 a.m., enough moisture should be in place for areas of drizzle, maybe some freezing drizzle to develop. I say freezing drizzle, but it's going to be a short window of opportunity for that because look as we take it to 9 a.m. Toward noon especially. Everyone's back above freezing, so any freezing drizzle that we might see shouldn't amount to more than maybe a few hundredths of an inch. We stay warm and above freezing throughout the course of our Saturday, so our drizzle will start to turn into periods of scattered showers throughout the afternoon. 34 in the morning, 44 by noon, highs around 48. So despite all the clouds and rain, that south wind at 10 to 20 will do the trick to push us back to the mid 40s and some spots near 50. Here's midnight going into Sunday. The backside of the system, the cold front plows on through. We will see lows drop back into the lower 30s for Sunday morning. The rain should be gone by then. And even though we dry things out, we do end the weekend on a cold note, with afternoon temperatures at least in the upper 30s. As far as rain goes, again, we're going to get mainly rain out of this wave, thankfully, with temperatures throughout most of this system on the warmer side of things, certainly above freezing. But you can see how we're mainly going to average about a quarter of an inch at the most for most locations. 48 tomorrow, 31 for Sunday morning before we jump back to only near 38 for Sunday afternoon. But we're dry Monday and Tuesday, 46 Monday, 52 Tuesday, and we got a string of 50s lined up to take us through the rest of next week now.
Tomorrow is a perfect day to stay inside tomorrow afternoon and watch some Chiefs football.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Thanks, Nate. Joplin's Spivot Center for the Arts is kicking off the new year with a couple of new exhibits. One exhibit is called John Fitzgibbon Splashes of Color. His work showcased places he's traveled to through watercolors, oils, and acrylics. The other is Wild Things, the artwork of Christopher Lynch and Barbara Martin. The two artists had never met before working on this collaboration that they say explores the subconscious and the primal.
You know, they're kind of like my children where you can't pick a favorite. I love them all. I made them all with my own little hands, and they have pet names. I call them my little creepers.
The Wild Things exhibit runs until March 5th. The John Fitzgibbon exhibit lasts until March 12th. Coming up in sports, Frontenac Raiders hit the road for a CNC rivalry game against Galena, and a huge night for the Wright brothers leads Joplin to the Kaminsky Classic Championship. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
Tonight is semifinal night at the Kaminsky Classic at Joplin High School. The tournament host Eagles are in the Final Four after beating Jeff City 70-64 last night. Tonight, another tough one for Joplin, facing Francis Howell. Eagles enter at 8-1. Donovan Sparks hot early for the Vikings. Sparks gets 8 in the first, finishes with 23. Terrence Gibson steals here, all alone for the Jam. Joplin, though, down 18-10 after one. Now, All Right, he was great in the second. Tough finish here. 8 in the quarter for All Right, 12 in the first half. Always Right, you know what he does. Caps a 14-2 Joplin run. Eagles come back to lead by 1 at the break. Now, All Right, dude was bonkers in the third. All Right, 14 in the third quarter alone. He finished with 35. That's the most at the Kaminsky Classic since 2018. Then in the fourth quarter, Big Brother Always closes it out. 23 tonight for Always Right. Joplin moves on to the championship game, 69-60. And the other semifinal game features Webb City and William Chrisman. These two teams, two of the best in the state in Class 5. Webb City ranked number 8. William Chrisman is 9 right now. Webb City clinging to a 1-point lead with less than a minute remaining. In Southeast Kansas, the Galena Bulldogs hit the floor tonight at home against the Frontenac Raiders. On the boys' side, the Bulldogs have been one of the most dominant teams in the area to start the season. Galena 6-0 coming into the night, ranked number 3 in the state in Class 3A. Early on, long pass to Aaron Doria. He lays it in. Raiders out hot. That makes it 8-2. Hadley Price all alone for the corner 3. The Bulldogs, though, still got some catching up to do. Ball tipped out to Mario Mangini. Quick release for 2. Frontenac up double digits at half. In the third, first try, no good. Brett Sarwinski rebounds and the putback. Other end, though, Lane Sullivan swoops in to take the pass, bucket, and the foul. Raiders fired up. Big win for Frontenac. They hand Galena their first loss, 63-51. To the girls' game now, Galena trying for their third straight win against the 4-1 Raiders. Riley Green hits the 3. 12-10 Raiders after 1. Then on the fast break, Heather Arnett to Kinley Lakey. Part of an 8-0 run for Frontenac. 7-point game at the half. Now Mia Sarwinski taking it herself here off the glass for the finish. On the other end, it's Hattie Pyle. She finishes with a team-high 10 points for Frontenac. Galena would make it a 2-point game early in the fourth, then Frontenac pulls away. Arnett adds 8 for the Raiders. Frontenac tops Galena 44-29.
I thought early on, I felt like we let some missed shots take us out of some confidence on offense. They did a nice job of being aggressive on, with us with the dribble. The last 4 or 5 minutes, it felt like, we had the confidence to continue to attack offensively. We've got enough kids to do enough good things, and it showed tonight.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions were supposed to meet for a rivalry doubleheader tomorrow afternoon, but those games have been postponed due to COVID protocols in both Pitt State programs. Now, instead of tomorrow, 2 teams will meet in Joplin on February 16th, and that means they'll play twice in the same week. That Wednesday, then turn around and play again on Saturday. In addition to those changes, Pitt State's moving next Wednesday's home doubleheader against Emporia State to Thursday. Check out the full release and the full schedule changes on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's it for sports. We're back after this.
We take time now to honor a local veteran, Sergeant Larry Pliller. The Joplin native served in the U.S. Marine Corps, and we are proud to salute Sergeant Larry Pliller. He's tonight's 4th state hero. Warming up tomorrow.
Yeah, but we have to start the day out with temperatures below freezing for a time as moisture rolls in. Maybe a few areas of drizzle and freezing drizzle, but then temperatures in the 40s means this next storm system on the way in. Just random areas of drizzle and light showers tomorrow afternoon.
You told me during the break you have some sports to talk about.
Yeah,
talk sports.
I just thought this was unbelievable. Always right and all right. 2 brothers for Joplin High School tonight. They combined for 58 points. Joplin scored 69. So 58 of the 69 came from those 2 players. They were so good tonight.
They were right on.
Unstoppable, on fire.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you join us this weekend, and let's make it a great one.